It was exactly 3 o'clock a.m. when the first knock came, not loud, not frantic, just deliberate, like whoever was knocking wanted me to know they weren't in a hurry. I live in a small town outside Flagstaff, Arizona. My apartment sits on the edge of town, with nothing but woods and an abandoned service road behind it. I work remotely, which means I tend to stay up late coding with music in my headphones. That night was no different, or at least it wasn't supposed to be. When I heard the knock, I froze. I wasn't expecting anyone. The building has only 4 units, and my neighbors are all older couples. No one visits at that hour. I waited, thinking maybe I imagined it. Then came the second knock, louder this time, sharper, right at my door. That's when my heart dropped. I muted my music and listened. Silence. I got up and walked quietly to the peephole. The hallway was empty, just the flickering yellow light from the stairwell bulb. Still, the sound had been real. I stood there for maybe a full minute, waiting. Then I saw something move. Someone was standing just out of view, pressed flat against the wall beside my door. The only spot the peephole couldn't reach. Every instinct in my body screamed not to open it. Instead, I whispered, "Who's there?" No answer. I stepped back slowly. That's when I heard it breathing. Not from the hallway. From the other side of the door. Deep, unsteady breaths. Then, after a few seconds, came a voice. Low, strained, like someone forcing words through a dry throat. "You shouldn't have looked." I froze. "What?" I said, barely a whisper. There was a pause, then a soft, rasping laugh, and the sound of footsteps walking away. I stood there for what felt like forever, waiting to hear the door to the stairwell open. But it never did. I called the police, explained that someone might be lurking in the hallway. They promised to send a unit. When the officers arrived 20 minutes later, they found nothing. No one in the hall. No footprints, no sign of forced entry. They told me to keep my door locked and left. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I went to check my front door. On the wood, just below the peephole, were 2 greasy handprints, like someone had leaned in close, watching me through the crack. For the next few days, nothing happened. I started to think maybe it was a prank, some drunk stranger who got the wrong apartment, until Thursday night. I was in bed, half asleep, when I heard movement in the hallway again. Slow footsteps. Then, tap, tap, tap on my door. Not knocks this time, just fingernails dragging down the wood. My heart was pounding. I didn't move, didn't breathe. Then I heard a whisper. "You shouldn't have looked." That same voice. I grabbed my phone and called 911 again. The operator asked if I could see the person. I told her no, I wasn't going near the door. The footsteps faded, just like before. When the police arrived again, they checked the hallway and surrounding area. Nothing. But this time, one of them found something strange on the security camera in the stairwell. A figure, tall and thin, standing just out of view of my apartment door. Exactly where I'd seen that movement the first night. The officer played it back for me. The figure never approached the door, but every few minutes it would turn its head directly toward the camera, like it knew it was being watched. And then at exactly 3 o'clock a.m. it vanished. One frame it was there, the next it was gone. No exit, no sound, nothing. The officer told me it was probably a camera glitch, but I saw his hands shaking when he said it. I moved out 2 weeks later. The apartment stayed empty for months, until a young couple moved in this past spring. Last week, I got an email from the property manager asking if I'd had any strange experiences during my stay. Apparently, the new tenants reported someone knocking at their door at 3 o'clock a.m. twice, exactly like before. They said when they checked the peephole, no one was there. But later that night, they found 2 handprints below it. If you ever hear 2 knocks in the middle of the night, don't look through the peephole. Some things knock just to see who's watching.